Alright, here's Mick here. So I'm doing a quick kind of review on the Sur Ron X Fender. So mine is a Sur Ron MX, Sur Ron Light B MX with the X Fender, the newer one, the one with the. So it's kind of like a hugger type Fender. I installed it when I installed the Supermoto kit. So if you guys didn't see me install it, watch that video. I bought it together with the kit, so I just put it on at the same time. Basically, it comes with a longer axle. And then these three parts: the left bracket, the right bracket, and then the fender itself. So, and I think for the fender you can attach like lights or a license plate or something, but it didn't come with any of that hardware. So, it's nice they give you an extra axle that's longer, so that's cool. So I just rode this thing at Metcalf Motorcycle Park, and I rode it through some really rough riding. We were doing jumps. We were doing like 5-foot jumps and stuff on the motocross track and stuff, and we were ripping around there. I'm not gonna lie, the Light B is like, it's a handful to ride with the Supermoto wheels off-road, man. It is like no traction central, and I think it's just the tires, but anyway, this is in the review of the Supermoto setup. But yeah, I'm saying I put this bike through the ringer, man. And with that fender on it, and I was afraid that fender wouldn't be able to handle, wouldn't be able to handle rough riding, but it does. It's a good fender. I was a little worried before, not gonna lie. Yeah, so it can handle some pretty rough off-road. So what I don't like about it is it looks kind of dorky. I'm not gonna lie, it looks kind of dorky. Like, you don't see dirt bikes with these fenders, but one of the things that are sorely lacking on the Sur Ron is the fender, man. The fender is just this tiny little thing, and like rocks and mud and water gets kicked up over it. It's just not long enough. It's supposed to cover the whole wheel, man, and it doesn't. If you look at the, I guess on the Supermoto setup, it's not so bad because the wheel is smaller. Yeah, it's a little better with the Supermoto setup. But if you look on this motorcycle here, the rear fender goes literally, it's almost right where the rear wheel lines up. So it's that's the way it should be. So this one, like, it stops like in the center, in the middle. So that's one of the bad things about one of the things I don't like about the Light B is the fender is not long enough. It doesn't really do anything. So does this fender really work? Oh, I can't say it does right now, but I can tell you it does catch some mud and dirt and stuff, and when I did ride it off-road, I didn't feel any rocks. Normally when I ride this thing off-road, I'll feel rocks and dirt hitting the back of my helmet and my back, and I didn't feel any of that. So I think it does work. I think it does work. I will have to wait for like a rainy day and like mud to come back. It's like summertime, so we're not gonna find any mud out here anymore, so unfortunately. But for the most part, I think it works. I didn't feel anything hit the back of my back, so while I was riding, so that's a good thing. One thing that sucks is if you do like if you like doing wheelies and like ape hanger wheelies and stuff, or you like to pop your bike up and hit the rear brake and just leave it hanging up there to like swivel it around, you will scrape the fender. So, and I already have, so right here. So that's one thing. It's not good for doing wheelies, like really vertical wheelies, or like pivot turns, stuff like that. It's not good for that kind of stuff. It'll scrape. And I like to do that kind of stuff. So I don't know if we're gonna keep this or not, but yeah, so that's my short little review of the Sur Ron X Fender. Maybe when the weather gets muddy, or if I can find some mud somewhere, we'll try to go ride in the mud and see if it works. But I'm actually planning to extend this fender, the stock fender. and go with that instead. I just think it looks a little dorky, but I mean, if you're doing mostly street riding and you're not doing like wheelies everywhere, and like I said, we took it to the off-road park, and I never scraped it at the off-road park once, you know. You'd have to get the bike like literally vertical to scrape it, so I don't think like, oh, Hades Omega scraped it, you know. And but that's because I popped it up. I popped it up and I used the rear brake to hold it up, and then that's when it scraped. So don't do that. Don't do that if you have this fender, or else you'll scrape it. But yeah, other than that, it worked pretty good. So I'm pretty impressed with it. And it was only like $25, and it came with another axle. I'm pretty happy with it. But I think, like I said, I don't like the way it looks, so I'm probably going to take it off the bike. But I wouldn't hesitate to put it back on if I really needed a fender. So maybe during the wet months, put it back on. You know, it's not too bad. So yeah, that's Hades Omega's little review of the Sur Ron X Fender, the little hugger fender. I'm actually pretty impressed with it. It's held up to the abuse that Hades Omega has put to this bike so far. So I thought I would have broken it already, but it's fine. There's no problem. And it seems to be doing its job, like keeping the dirt off your back, you know, keeping the dirt off your back and dirt off your bike. But I will have another review when I could find some mud to ride in. This is one thing I remember, riding this in the mud sucks, because it just slings mud all over the place. And I still have to find a new front fender. That mud hugger fender sucks, man. It just like wants to fall off or scrape all the time. Alright, here's what I got.